Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I have another sub 250 gram drone to show you today. This is the MJX Bugs 19, holding the box up to the camera here. So what you're going to see on this guy is that it is a sub 250 gram drone. They're saying a single axis gimbal. What they mean by that is you can move it up and down, although there really isn't a gimbal on it. And it is a GPS quad, so it will hold itself in space. What I've found is MJX typically does a pretty good job on these kind of quads. They typically are very easy to set up, easy to get in the air, and fly well. Now, what I'm going to tell you about this one in particular is because it does not have a gimbal on the camera, you're not going to get stabilized video with it. The video will be shaky. But what we're looking for, at the very least, is not a lot of jello in the video. And we're looking for a quad that flies decently, flies well, and that holds itself in space well. And I suspect that's what we'll see. As I said, usually MJX does a really good job on these kind of drones, and you would consider this a starter drone. It's around 150 bucks, so think about that. Half price of, say, a DJI Mini SE. Now, if you're really looking for decent quality video, you absolutely need to grab that DJI Mini SE. If you just want a quad that you want to fly around the park with and so forth, and are not so much worried about video quality, this might be the one for you. And of course, not very long range. So anyway, let me get it out of the box and we'll show it to you. So as is typical of MJX and some of these, quite frankly, I'd call them bargain price drones, they give you a pretty darn good case to carry the thing around. Let me open it up here so you can see. So there is the drone. I've got a couple of batteries and the controller. And I'm not going to dig everything out, but what I'm going to tell you is up here there's a really good manual. And what I like again about MJX is they give you a big, clear, easy to read manual. There's some extra props, and there's the ubiquitous screwdriver and USB-A to USB-C cable in there, and MJX always gives you some decals too. But let's quit messing around with that, and let's actually pull the drone out and take a look at it. So the drone itself, as you'll notice, looks very much suspiciously like a DJI Mini drone. No doubt the styling was definitely inspired by the DJI Minis, even if you look at the side, etc. The battery does load from the back here, and yeah, we can pull this out. I don't remember what milliamp. Yeah, it's an 1820 milliamp lithium polymer battery. So let's plug that guy back in, and it has the usual lights up there and the power button on the back. And again, I want to show you this gimbal. While the gimbal is mounted on silicone mounts, it really doesn't move. Other than from the app, you can move the and I believe from the app, yeah, you can move the camera up and down. And as you can see, I haven't taken the lens cover off of it yet, the piece of plastic, and of course I will before we fly. And oh, I meant to mention here, it does have downward facing sensors. It has a pinhole optical flow sensor, and it has a couple of time of flight sensors. So this thing ought to be pretty stable, and so I'm anxious to see how stable it hovers, etc. So, you know, I guess it's worth mentioning that it is a brushless motor drone, although that's almost a given nowadays. You're going to get a brushless motor product, and then typical folding propellers as well. And they do give you some extra props, and they give you a screwdriver so you can remove those screws and put new props on if need be. Hopefully you don't need to do that. And then the RC itself, and this is the first time I've opened this guy up. As you can see, it still has the stickers on it. And I'm going to tell you, I'm looking at this antenna right here, and it does have a wire in it. That tells me that's functional. This one would be on the right side when you're holding it facing you. There's nothing in there, there's no wire, so essentially that's just there for looks. I guess it's for symmetry, I suppose. Let's look at the back here first. So if we pull these handles down, and those are just handles to hang on to, this is a AA battery remote control, which is going to tell you that you're going to have limited power with the remote. Usually the ones where they put an internal lithium battery inside, you get a little more power with the remote, but so we'll see how this one works. Upside is you have one functional antenna. Downside, in my opinion, is that it's a AA battery. So then looking at the front here, this button right here with the red padlock on there is to lock and unlock the motors. This is the on-off switch for the drone. This is for taking pictures, and I think you double press it for video. I'll have to double check on that. And this is return to home on the other side here on the right hand side, and then of course the usual gimbals, and I'll pull that off, but you do have a full functional LCD display under there that gives you a lot of good information. So it's amazing how you get that on some of these cheaper drones, and some of the higher priced drones you don't, but it really is handy. It gives you a lot of good information. And then on the back here, this one is going to change your speed of the drone, and this scroll wheel right here is going to adjust your the angle of the camera, so you can point the camera up and down. Now this one, as I thought, is it's just there for looks. It doesn't move. And this button right here is for land in place, takeoff and land in place. So once you unlock the propellers with this button, you'd hit this button right here and it's going to take off. Or if you were out someplace and you just wanted to land, hit that button and it would land in place if the drone is already in flight. One more thing here, on the side of the controller you've got the GPS on and off. Now you would turn that off if you're flying inside your house, and then you're just using those downward facing sensors to tell the drone how far it is off the ground, etc. But for the most part, I'm going to recommend anytime you're outdoors, leave that one up. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Let's quit messing around and let's get this drone in the air. Okay, one of the things I neglected to show you earlier is how your phone hooks up or connects to the controller, and it's on top here. That piece pulls out, so you have to have the antenna kind of folded down kind of behind your mobile device, but just wanted to show you that. So the other thing we're going to do now is you have to bind the controller to the drone, and let me show you how to do that. What you do is when you turn on the controller, you hold down the lock button, which is the red padlock there. Hold it down and then turn the controller on, and that puts it in binding mode. And then we're going to turn on the drone, and we should hear a beep and they'll bind. Yeah, so you heard that beep almost instantly, so it's bound now. So that's good. So I'm going to cycle everything back off just to make sure that that everything's good. So we're going to turn off the drone and turn off the controller. But we know we're bound now. Okay, let's do our calibrations before we take off. We're going to do a gyro calibration and a magnetic calibration, or some people call it a compass calibration. I often call it a compass calibration. Let's fire up the drone first. Got 4 lights on, you hear it beep. I'm going to set it down on a flat spot. Let's turn on the controller, and we are immediately connected. And I'm going to go down and to the left with the joysticks, and that'll put it into gyro calibration mode. And I can see that because I've got a little blinking, and it just was on for a second and off. So we have a successful calibration. We had a little blinking drone up in the corner of the LED screen. I might have said LCD earlier. It's an LED screen. And now we're going to do the compass calibration. So I'm going to go down and to the right. And you hear it beeping, and I can see that little drone blinking again. Pick the drone up, and we're going to spin it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Counterclockwise in the horizontal position. Then we're going to put head down and vertical and go 3 times again. There's 1, a little more awkward doing it this way. 2 and 3, and we've got a solid green light on the back. That tells us we're calibrated. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but the light is off on the controller here, so we know we're good. The app that we're going to use is the MRC Pro app, and there is a QR code in the manual if you need to find that, but you should be able to find that in both app stores for Android and iOS. Let's fire that up, and it immediately, we're in English already. It gives us a start page, so we're going to click on that. Introduction, and I kind of like this page because if you've not flown an MJX drone before, this gives you all the lowdown on the app. So we're going to click to get through that, and it says not connected. Let me get my antenna down here. Normally please say, okay, so you know what I didn't do is I didn't hook it up to my Wi-Fi on my phone, so we're going to go do that right now. And what's cool is it told us it needed to do that. So we're going to go into Wi-Fi, and we are going to look for the drone. And there it says drone, and it connected. That was a step that I forgot, and the app prompted me to do it. That's what I like about MJX drones, is they do that. So now let's go back into the app. And look at that, we've got FPV. Kudos to MJX, man. That is awesome. I see, it looks to me like it's still loading maps, etc. But let's go into the max flight altitude. We're going to move that up for sure, all the way to our, well, 117, that's plenty flight distance. We'll put it up to 200 meters because let me tell you, this isn't a drone that you're going to want to go further than that. If we try out the orbit, let's move that up to about 10 meters or so. Return to home altitude, we want it higher than that. Let's put it, I don't know, I'm gonna move it up to close to 30 meters. Just to be on the safe side. There's 29, so we're going to leave it at that. And if you didn't do the gyro and geo calibration, it's right here on the app, as you can see. Next tab, GPS status is good. It's telling us everything's ready to go. Let me look at that again. What did that say? So, oh yeah, so this is flight logs. Okay, so that's from different MJX drones that I've flown before, so that's cool. So maybe it was asking for an update that I'm not exactly sure what was going on there. But let's click on the little on the camera right below the little red dot, the camera menu. We want to go in 4K. We want to get the best we can get. And let's look at the whoops, sorry about that. Let's click on the next one down. So we're going to put, it's kind of a hazy day. So, gosh, I'm going to put sunny day on there. Although the sun is out, there's really no clouds. So we're going to leave right everything where it is on the factory setting there. And cache frame number, I don't know. I'm going to leave that alone. Memory, I need to put a memory card in the drone, so I'm glad that they reminded me. So just to show you, the memory card goes right there. I put in a SanDisk, and it's asking for a Class 10 micro SD card. Again, that's one thing I like about MJX, is they make everything so user-friendly. So yeah, we're going to format the card. Click yes there, and we're going to click use cellular data. So I'm assuming that we're all formatted and ready to go. Let's click on the red dot and let's start recording. And it's giving me the countdown, so it tells me that it's recording. So again, with this drone, to power on the motors, you're going to push this this red padlock down here. And we got a couple beeps. Let me try that again, maybe just a quick press. I never know if it's a quick press or a long press. Let's do a quick press. Yeah, and that did it. That fired him up, and then we're going to hit right here this button and it should take off. And it does. Let me pick the camera up here just a little. And the drone is moving around a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna land this baby. And we had a nice little crash there. So that circular motion that you saw was indicative of a geomagnetic issue. So let me grab the drone and we'll do another calibration. But you saw it was out of control. It was moving around there all over the place. And like I said, when you see that circular motion, that's indicative of a drone needing a compass calibration. So we're going to try this again. So the drone is not hurt at all. It folded up an arm a little bit, but you can see a little bit of grass on it. But and that's why you do these kind of flights over soft grass like this. I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to cycle the power on everything. We're going to go through the calibrations again. Maybe we'll do the calibrations on the app this time and see if that helps. Let's go back to this start. Let's see, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that. I meant to go into the menu. And right down here, we're going to do the gyro calibration first. It's sitting on the ground. Okay, it was green and then changed again. So now let's do the geomagnetic, which is the compass calibration on the app. I'm going to click on that. And it's beeping, so... And also, I don't know if you're going to see it, but the light is off on the controller here, the little blinking drone up in the corner of the LED screen. So let's go ahead and start recording again. So we've started recording. Let's unlock the motors. Quick push. And let's take off one more time. And let's see how it does. Well, look at that. It immediately starts moving around. So I'm moving it out away from us. And look at it. Yeah. We got a problem. I'm bringing the drone down. We did another crash landing. Don't know what's going on there. Yeah, and it's saying you got to have, so we had 17 satellites. It says you got to have a minimum of 7. So I don't know. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut everything down. Let's take the drone kind of more in the middle of the park here. I'm kind of close to some stuff here. I hear the drone. The motors are still running on the drone. There. Okay. Got it shut down. Stop recording. Let me go pick it up and we'll try this one more time. Hey, okay, the Bugs 19 is not cooperating. We had a couple of situations where it went into a very quick toilet bowl situation where the drone was moving in a circular motion. I had to hold the stick down and essentially crash landed in the grass. The drone is not hurt, but obviously you can't fly a drone like that. So I moved out further out into the park here. There's less things in the way. I don't have to worry so much about people being around. Tells you I don't trust this drone now. So we're going to try it again. We're going to fire up the drone. We're going to go through the calibrations again, and we'll see what happens this time. So let me turn on the drone again. And by the way, I had my GoPro locked up on me, so it froze up on me. So I don't know how much of that last loss of control you saw with the drone, but I should be able to show you with what I had on the screen recorder to have shown you that. But we had two essentially rotary situations with the drone that were bad enough that I just had to pull the stick down and let it crash land into the grass. So we're going to try that one more time. Let's turn on the controller. And it immediately hooks up, and then we're going to go both sticks to do a calibration, both sticks down, and I'm just going to hold the drone level. And we're going to push the sticks down and to the left. Well, I need both hands to do that, so I'm going to set this guy down. Okay, down and to the left, and I'm not getting the little, usually it will blink up in the corner there, a little picture of a drone on the LED screen, and I didn't get that. But let's go ahead and do the compass calibration. So that's going to be down and to the right, and that's in compass calibration now. There, you heard it beep, and the little light is blinking there. So you can see the light blinking on the back of the drone. We're going to go 3 times. You know, let's go clockwise this time. I went counterclockwise last time. It's 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to point the head down, and there's 1, there's 2, and I see the light stopped blinking. There's 3, so that rear light stopped blinking, and that tells us that the calibration is done. Also, the little icon of the drone blinking is gone off of the controller here, so let's go ahead and fire everything up again. I'm going to start a screen recording as we usually do. Then we're going to go into the app again. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that I didn't have the app already open. So it's the MRC Pro again. That takes us to that home screen. We're going to go start, next. And you know, we've got good FPV again. We have 15 satellites. We've got a good connection. Let's start recording. And we're going to hit the unlock button again. That's the red padlock. And the motors have started up. Let's go take off on the app. And better this time. Let's just let it hover there for a second. It's moving in a little bit of a circular motion, but way better, although it's getting bigger. Yeah, look at it. That little circular motion is getting bigger and bigger. I'm going to move it out a little ways. Yeah, see, it's just continuing to get bigger. Yeah, I don't know what to say. So I'm going to see if I can bring it down, put it in landing mode. And you saw the drone flop over there again. I don't know what to say, guys. It just, it's not taking a calibration, and you know, we're away from, there's no metal out here. There's nothing that would affect this guy. So we'll try it again. I'm just going to leave everything on, including recording, and I'm going to do it on the app here. So we're going to go into the app. We're going to click on geomagnetic calibration, and you heard it blink. And so we'll go back the counterclockwise rotation this time. 2, 3, head down. 1, 2, 3, and again we've got a solid light, nothing but fun, and the light is out on the controller. So again, we're going to unlock the motors, hit takeoff on the controller, and you know, it's looking okay. Yeah, there's, oh, now it's starting to move a little bit. See, I don't trust it now, so I'm going to let it sit there and hover for a little while. I don't know, we might have it now, huh? What do you think? Let's hope so. I think we might finally have got a successful calibration. Okay, so I'm bringing it around. Let's yeah, so there I'm using the scroll wheel to adjust the angle of the camera, and let's do our usual droney. I think we got it now. Looks like it's good now. I don't know why we had so much trouble getting that thing to calibrate, but 4th time's a charm, I guess. So reverse and up. Wow, and I can tell you that it is a fairly powerful drone. It took right off. And you can see as soon as I let off the throttle there, you can see there's no gimbal on this drone. So, and let's see, we are up about 27 meters high. We're out about 90 meters. That's pretty good. And we got good solid FPV. So let's just fly it around a little bit here first. And again, well, let me pick up that, I don't know. The thing is, as soon as I pick up the camera, let's go the other way there. So let's try. I've got the camera kind of about halfway there. So let's go ahead and ease into the throttle, and you'll see it dip down. And that's, you know, one of the situations where you don't have a gimbal. You know, you just don't have as much. The camera is not going to be stable. But I can tell you what I see here on FPV looks good, and I can see I had my antenna crossed, so that's even a better sign that the drone has good control. Let's go a little further out to that corner. You know, we're about, let's go out towards the flagpole. And yeah, we're out about 86 meters that direction, and everything's good. So yeah, man, you know, so far so good. Guys, I wish I could tell you why we had so much trouble getting that calibration, but the drone is flying great here. So let's see what speed mode we're in here. That's this button here on the controller. Let's hold it down. And that's okay. So I think it was in high speed mode. So now it should be in low speed. Let's go full stick forward and see what kind of speed we get. Yeah, that's low speed mode, and that's what you're going to want to use. I think if you expect to get some good, and that was me yawing it, and boy, that was a quick yaw. I was just trying to give it a little bit of stick there. So you're gonna have to be pretty ginger on the stick. But let me tell you, for all the problems we had getting the thing in the air, it's flying great now. I want to get out into the corner here, and we are going to point towards the Costco over there. And you guys have seen this many times in the past, and I like taking pictures because you can compare it to other drones, and you can see the drone moving around, and that's why that picture is moving around. We're completely off the sticks, and we're 137 meters away. We got good FPV, good strong signal with the drone. So let's stop recording, and then I'm going to hit the picture button. We're going to take a picture. So we took a photo there, and let's give it just a second, and we will start recording again. So I started recording, and we're going to turn around. We're going to go to the other end of the park, and again, I'm going to go full throttle forward, and let's see what our top speed is. So full throttle forward, and I'm going to adjust the yaw here. I'm going to try and adjust it just a little, get it pointed the other way. So yeah, about 6 meters per second, 6.2 meters per second. That's about, you know, roughly around 15 miles an hour or so. That's pretty darn good. That's in low speed mode, and I'm telling you, low speed mode is the one you're going to want to use if you're trying to get some good pictures. Although, like I said, again, video, you're going to get this kind of jiggly video with this drone. Although, and that's me letting off the throttle there. What you don't see, and you'll see it stabilize here, but what I'm encouraged about is I've got really good FPV on the drone, and you can see it kind of moving around there, and that's the drone moving around because the camera is not stabilized. So we're going to point back the other. Ooh, I went just a little too far. Get it back pointed this direction. And then we're going to go back into high speed mode, and let's see what it'll do. So I'm going to hold down that button on the controller here. See, we got 2 beeps. That tells us we're in high speed mode. Again, I'm going to point the thing back here. Keeps wanting to move, kind of move that direction a little bit. And in fact, I'm going to, well, I'll tell you, the yaw is really sensitive. Okay, so we're going to go full stick forward now, and you're just going to see grass here for a second. And let's see how fast we can get it up to. 7, 8 meters per second, 9 meters per second. And look at that. Wow, 9.5 meters per second. that's it. I'm watching the drone above me, man. It's moving right along. That's pretty darn good. So 9.5 meters per second, that's about, I don't know, 22 miles an hour or so, and we're going to see the sky here. I let off the throttle, and without a stabilized gimbal, we're going to see the sky. So, you know, what's kind of interesting here is that we don't have any issues with any FPV problems, any control issues with regard to power of the controller. Again, this guy just uses AA batteries. So man, I'm so tempted to go across the street there, but with the issue that we had with the toilet bowling and the compass earlier, I'm just not going to do that. We're going to stay right here in the park. So let's go back the other way. I'm going to drop the camera down just a little, and we'll get a picture on the other end of the park there. So full stick forward, you're going to see grass as the drone picks up speed here. And it's because the drone is pitched forward. It's going right above me now. I'm watching it. It's pitched forward at a pretty good little angle there. And get ready for sky. I saw the guy in the mower, so I didn't want to go over the top of him there. And there you see him. Let's move sideways a little bit. So as soon as so that's me banking the drone to its left, and look at how it, that's pretty cool, isn't it? And now as soon as I let off, and that's what you get when you don't have a stabilized gimbal. So let's let the drone stabilize here a little bit. I'm going to move forward. I want to get out into the corner there. And in fact, we're going to put it in low speed mode here again. One beep, that tells us we're in low speed mode. And yeah, and I'm just looking at the LED screen here on the controller, and it actually is telling me that it's in low speed mode. So I'm trying to move it over here. I want to position. Yeah, oh, we just had our first signal loss. Oh, now we got it back. Okay, and I'm pointed directly at the drone, so we did have a little signal loss there at about 144 meters. You know, honestly, that's great. This is not a drone that you're going to fly very darn far, that's for sure. So let's wait for it to settle down here. Yeah, now we got another, yeah, a little bit of an issue with the signal. Looks like the drone, yeah, it's settling down now here. No, okay, I'm going to bring it back towards us a little. See if I can get that signal back a little bit more reliably. Okay, let's just stop right there and let the drone settle down here. And I'm going to move a little bit to the left. That's about right. Let the drone settle down, and we're going to take a picture. So I'm going to stop recording. As soon as the drone settles down and gets good and flat here, that's probably pretty good. Let's take a picture. There, it says taken photo successfully. So I'll give the drone in just a second to settle down. Oh, I'm looking at the bottom here. Let's demonstrate the zoom. Now this drone does have zoom on it. I'm going to start recording, and I'm going to move at the bottom of the screen. You see that little blue dot? I'm going to move it to the right. Well, I was going to try and do that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, well, that's 40 times. That's 11 times. So you're going to see that's going to look really pixelated. So let's move that back down to normal. But that is there if you want it. Basically all that does is crop the sensor. So, you know, I don't know how useful it is, but I just wanted to show you that it is there. So tell you what, I think what we should do now is, yeah, okay, we lost signal again. So I can tell you that this part of the park, I have seen signal interference there before, so it doesn't surprise me. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? I do have control. As soon as I pulled back on the stick, even though it's telling us we don't have signal, I've got control of the drone. There we got green back again. You know, I was going to suggest that we try return to home, but let's go ahead and let the drone I'm looking at the battery on the drone, you know, it looks like it's at 3/4. We've been flying for quite a while. I'm quite sure it's probably more drained than that, but we'll see how it does. They're starting up the mowers here. I may be in their way here. Doggone it. So we may have to do something different here. We'll see what they do. Okay, let me drop that camera down. See, I'm just trying to see if I can even, I'm struggling to even find myself. There I am. Okay, so let's move the drone forward. And again, we are just in normal mode here, or low speed mode, I guess you'd call it. And the drone is coming right back to us. So I can say really the only loss of signal issues we had is right there in that one corner of the park. Okay, I'm reducing altitude, so you'll see the camera move around quite a bit. Let's bring it over the top of us. Or actually, I'm not exactly sure. Bring the drone down. We're 10 meters away. I don't know exactly how the orbit works on this guy. I cannot remember. We set it to 10 meters, I believe. Let's do an orbit flight, and I think it'll just start in an orbit. And it is. Yeah, that's perfect. And so the drone is doing an orbit, and I am not at the center of it, but you can see what the drone's doing. I'll move to the center here, and we'll drop that. We'll drop the camera down so you can see how accurate that orbit is. So I'll just stand here in the center and give you a shot at how accurate that is. And God, it's great. That's perfect. You know, we had a rough start with this guy, but boy, I mean, I can't complain. After that, everything seems to be working great. So let's go ahead and get out of there. If I can remember how to do that, I'm going to click back into that and hit that button again. And yeah, it stopped right there. Low battery. So let's fly it out and let's do a return to home. Let me pick up the camera, and I always forget which way to turn that scroll wheel. Let's pick up the camera, fly it out a ways. So it's a ways away from us. And then we're gonna hit return to home. Let's see, let's do that. We're gonna do that on the controller here. And it took it immediately. No, maybe not. Oh yeah, it's coming back. Okay. It's just not telling me on the screen. Oh yeah, if I look at the return to home button turned green. And we're just gonna let this guy land where it may. Let me see if I can point the camera down. Yeah, I can get almost way down. It's gonna be pretty darn accurate. It's gonna land in the grass. It's not gonna hurt it a bit. And it's thinking about it because it sees, is this a good place to land or not? Let me pick that camera back up. Okay, yeah, you can see the grass there. I'm going to stop recording. Okay, let me swap out the battery here real quick, and we'll try the follow me function. Okay, I cheated there a little bit, guys. I did what you call a hot swap. I just didn't shut off the controller or the app. I just turned off the drone, swapped the battery, turn the drone back on. Let's see what we got. Look, we got FPV. So I think we're good. Okay, so I'm going to start recording, and let's take off again, and let's see how we do. So we'll unlock the motors and hit that button. You know, the drone is good. I don't know why we had so much trouble there earlier with the geo-calibration, but it's steady as a rock now. So I'm going to move it out, and we're going to try the follow me function. Okie dokie, I'm going to drop the camera down here a little bit, get it looking at me in the center of frame, and then we're going to go, that's a little bit off, And we're in low speed mode. I just double checked that. Let's go follow function, and it's gonna follow GPS. Sometimes that'll make these drones go crazy, but it's doing good. I've had drones, when you put them in the follow me function, have all kinds of problems. But it seems to be following me. Yeah. So as I'm walking around, yeah, it's working great. Okay. Wow. One more down. That's impressive. It's doing a great GPS follow me, and you know what? It's keeping me relatively in center of frame. One of the problems typically with GPS follow me is that it won't keep you in center of frame. So usually you need an optical follow me to do that. So let's get out of that. The only other trick you saw there is headless mode, and we're not going to mess with that. I mean, I guess, yeah, I mean, headless mode, if you're in non-GPS form, what that does is as the drone goes away from you, if you pull the stack back, it'll retrace and come right back to where towards the direction that it came from. So anyway, I just think we should fly it around here a little bit more. I'm starting to get some confidence back in this guy. Let's pick it up. Where we can go higher than that. That's me dropping the camera down. I'm going to put it into high-speed mode here. Again, I'm going to hit, hold down this button on the right side of the controller. We'll hear 2 beeps. And on the LED screen, it says high on the speed mode there. This is great. It's doing fine. So let's go straight forward here. Let me pick that. Whoops, I went the wrong way. I'm trying to pick the camera up so I can see where I'm going here. And I'm going to go out here a ways. Make sure my antenna is pointed right at the drone. And yeah, there's no cars there, so we're good to go. Yeah, and we got out there about 250 meters and it went into, it's saying TX return. So I'm going to hit return to home on the app, and let's see if it comes back to us. It looks like it is on the, that's me dropping the camera. Yeah, it's coming back. So my intention there was to go, to go across the, over into the empty field over there, and we got out about 250 meters, and they say that I think, I'm trying to remember what it says in the specs, what the range on this is supposed to be, but trust me, on a drone like this, that's plenty. You're not going to want to be going that far with this guy. So let's take it out of return to home. We got plenty of battery here, so I want to fly it around just a little bit more, and I'm trying to pick up the gimbal. Let's go towards the edge of the park. We'll make a couple of more runs from one end of the park to the other here, and maybe take a couple of pictures, and then we'll call it good. And that, you saw me let off the throttle there. We'll yaw the drone around. Again, we're in high-speed mode, so you're going to see a lot of movement with this camera. You're just going to see, however the drone pitches, you're going to see it on the camera. So full stick forward now. And of course we're seeing grass. And I noticed that it can be, if you look up at the drone, sometimes it's hard to get it to get the head pointed exactly forward, but not bad. But look at that speed there, almost 9 meters per second right there. Man, oh man, that's moving along pretty good. That's about 22 miles an hour. So that's about, you know, that's maybe not quite what the DJI Mini SE will do, but pretty close. Okay, we're going to stop right there. You're going to see some sky. And we're gonna bank to the drone's right, and you're gonna see the world go kind of sideways for a second. Then I'm gonna let off, and you'll see it move back the other way. And then let's yaw around. And I just want to show, I'm doing that just to show you the movements of the camera. And okay, well, let's go just to the other corner of the park here. Let me see if I can center that a little bit better. Yeah, we just had a little signal loss there. Got it back, so I'm going to start moving the drone forward. And you can see we're just on the other side of the mower. He's got his hood up. Must be something wrong with the mower there. And that's me trying to adjust the heading of the drone without a lot of luck. But yeah, we had like 9.1 meters per second there for a little bit. And the drone is right over the top of me now, or basically a little bit. And let off the throttle. Right now we're gonna see sky. Look at that. Okie dokie. Let's bring it back towards us, and I'm in full reverse now, so that's why you're seeing sky. And I'm dropping altitude as I go. So I've got the drone stopped and turned around, and I'm dropping altitude fast. You can see me there. Trying to get it pointed towards me. And we're going to take some pictures. We'll take some pictures here, kind of Quadcopter 101 style. He always gets pictures of his tie-dye shirts. I don't have a tie-dye shirt. Yeah, we've got a hawk flying above us, and he was looking at that drone. It was funny watching him. You could tell he was taking a look at it. He's going, what is that in my territory? Okay, let's bring this guy in close. And let me tell you, it is stable right now. It is really stable. You know what? Before we take that picture, I'm going to put it back into low mode. Holding down that button. One beep. And it's still in high mode. Let's try that again. There, now it's in low mode. And let's turn the drone. Let's try some low speed flight. You know what's funny was when that hawk flew over, all the seagulls disappeared, and now they're back. So let's try out the optical flow. Let's get this guy down low, and I'm going to go full stick forward now. And you know what? It's holding itself well. Let's do a little figure eight. Ooh, yeah. I told you it's holding itself well. As I was doing that figure eight, it hit the ground. Yeah, it shut down the back props. Okay, we're going to take off again here. We're going to keep filming. We're going to take off again. And we're going to try this again. So what that tells you is don't fly it too low to the ground. That's what I'm telling you. Okay, let's unlock the motors. And let's go ahead and take off. And it's giving us that 7 satellite warning again, but we've got 15 satellites, so we're good. So let's try that a little bit higher off the ground. We're a meter off the ground. Let's go a little higher. It says 2 meters. Let's try it at that height, and let's see what it does. Okay, full stick forward. And again, we're in normal mode. And let me do a little kind of a figure eight here. And I guess I could see the drone lowering. I'm looking at the drone, kind of bringing it back towards us. Behind the camera, that doesn't do you guys much good, but you'll see the video from the drone. So you can see it there. Let's bring it in a little closer here. And let's see if we can do a manual orbit. So little bit of a manual orbit there. And I see the drone lowering. It keeps getting low. Well, I'll stop there. I don't want it to hit the ground again. But you see, then it picks back up. Hopefully you saw that on the GoPro. I guess what I'm going to tell you is that the downward facing time of flight sensor and the optical flow sensor, they work, but they're not perfect on this guy. So just keep that in mind. Let's grab a little bit of altitude, and let's move the drone back. We're going to go clear back here a ways, pulling away from us, and then we're going to do a return to home. Okay, we're about 9 meters height. Let's hit return to home. Let's try it this time on the app, hitting that button. We got the slider, and it is returning. It should rise to its return to home height, but you know what? It does. Well, maybe it doesn't appear to be. Well, no, it's not going to its return to home height. It just came back at where the height that we had it at. So maybe I wasn't far enough away. You know, let's try that again, because I'm curious. That is important that we know whether that works correctly or not. And I think we set it, trying to remember where we set it at. I'm gonna fly the drone out, further out into the corner of the park here. Got it a ways from us here. And we're going to stop it right there, and let's look in the settings. Yeah, you can't touch it while it's in flight. The drone is 53 meters away, so that should be plenty. Let's go a little further. Let's take it out a little further. And I think we had return to home set at like 25 meters, something like that. Okay, so let's stop right there. We're 88 meters away. We're going to hit return to home on the controller, and it says returning. And it's just returning at its height. So what I'm going to tell you is this drone is not going to ascend. So if you hit return to home, whatever height you have it set at is what it's going to come home. And in fact, we are getting pretty severe toilet bowling here now. Oh, I mean bad. Okay, I'm going to shut off return to home and see if it settles the drone down. And it did. So just be careful with return to home. Well, it's still moving around a little bit. Let's bring the drone down. It's almost directly above me. It's moving around here, guys. We're going to do a crash landing here, folks. I'm trying to pull it back. So I'm pulling back on the stick. I'm trying to do a controlled crash here, guys. Well, it's kind of settling down now. Look at, you can see it moving around. I'm going to bring it forward. Look, it's settling down, but let me tell you what, it was out of control there. When it was in that return to home mode, it was doing that big circular motion, and look, it's stabilized now, so we're good. So we were able to bring it back under control. That was interesting. I'm telling you, that drone, it was completely out of control there. And I thought, okay, if I take it out of return to home, will it calm down? And it kind of did, but it was still moving in circles. And you still see it moving around a little bit. But anyway, let's see if we can bring it forward here a little bit. I'm a little reticent to get it too close. That's got to be pretty close to that, to the landing pad. And see, I'm trying to get it over, but it keeps moving back. Look at that. Okay, pull back a little bit. I'm just going to pull down on the stick. We may or may not hit the pad. We're right in front of the pad. Okie dokie. Hopefully you saw that on the camera. Yeah, you did. Okay, I'm going to stop recording. You're always going to want to remember to stop recording on these bargain price drones. Otherwise you could corrupt a file and you could lose that file. So let me get everything shut down and we'll do a conclusion. Hey, okay, I was out there in the field getting ready to do the conclusion. Well, I was partway through the conclusion and the GoPro shut down because of heat. So we walked back here by the picnic canopy and we'll start over again. So the little Bugs 19, you know, it's intended to be a Mavic mini clone, styling very similar, etc. Obviously, doesn't have a gimbal on the camera, so you're not going to get the stabilized footage as you already saw. However, what I was hoping for was a drone that flew perfectly and that had decent enough video without jello, etc. It looked okay on the FPV screen to me. I can't tell for certain until I look at the video off of the SD card here. And we'll see if it's jello free, but it's definitely wiggling around as the drone moves. But items of concern, you saw how I struggled to get a compass calibration on the drone. On the fourth time we finally got a decent calibration, and I moved out there in the field just to make sure that we're away from things so it wouldn't run into something. We literally did some crash landings with it to get it back on the ground, which is the problem with that. I mean, it immediately started some big out of control circles, so the only thing you can do is pull down on the stick, or you could shut off the motors, I suppose, both sticks in and down, and it would just kill the motors and it would stop. However, we did get it on the ground, and the fourth time we got a decent calibration and it seemed pretty stable. Flew it around. I was impressed with the speed. I was impressed with the control signal. Obviously a drone of this caliber, you don't expect it to go 1.5 kilometers. I'm going to say this guy was pretty good. Out to a couple hundred meters you had pretty good signal, and so it's not intended to fly any further than that, so I was happy with that. The other item of concern came when we put it into return to home at the last time, and again it went into just a huge circular motion and was out of control. I was not in control of the drone. So I took it out of return to home mode. It's kind of stabilized a little bit. I had some stick control again. What I was trying to do then was move it in front of the camera, so hey, if it was going to crash, at least you guys could see it, right? So we got it in front of the camera, and it finally, gradually, I kept messing with the controls, moving it back and forth, and it finally settled down and I got control of the drone again. So that's a concern. You're just not going to have confidence in the product if you have those kind of situations. So what I'm going to say is probably do not use return to home on the drone if you can avoid it. The other thing we noticed is it didn't go up to the return to home height that we preset. It just came back at its normal height. And I think the last one we did, I don't know, we were out there over 60 meters or so, so it certainly should have risen up to a return to home height, and it didn't do it. So I'm not sure what to say about that. But return to home is a pretty iffy situation with this guy, so I would stay away from it. For that reason, I would also warn you to be extra careful in any of the intelligent flight modes, the orbit mode and the follow me mode. I have seen those on some other bargain drones, kind of send the drone into a tizzy, so I'm just telling you, be aware of that, be careful. But other than that, you know, the drone flew pretty good. I didn't see a lot of lag. I felt like I had good control of it, other than the times that I just spoke about earlier. So, yeah, like I said, I got mixed emotions. You know, at $150 for this guy, man, you know, double it, spend $299 and get a DJI Mini SE, and then you have just a rock solid platform. You know, there are other drones closer to this price category that might be a little bit better. I just, honestly, I expect better from MJX. I've had pretty good luck with some MJX products in the past. So, yeah, I'm just not exactly sure what to say there. But in any case, it is what it is, and you guys saw it along with me, so we'll leave it at that. I will leave a, Banggood sent me this drone for a review, so I will leave a purchase link down below. And you know, I'm certainly not gonna not tell you not to buy this drone, but I struggle to give it a recommendation as well. So I guess what I'm telling you is that I'm kind of middle of the road. You guys saw my experience with it, so make your purchase decision based on what you saw there. You know, if you feel like you can deal with those kind of things, I had fun flying it, I got to tell you that. Yeah, anyway, that's about it. Enough jibber jabbering, as my friend Ron Brown says. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And yeah, of course, we'll see you on the next one. The MJX Bugs 19, it's kind of a DJI mini clone. Has a lot of features on it. All right, see you later.